let's get this party started. Yogi Clan, good morning. Welcome back to Yogi Cycle Service. It is a beautiful Thursday morning, the day before Good Friday, and I am excited to be here on the motorcycle and having this opportunity to ride my bike to work. And I want to talk to you today. This topic may be a little bit controversial for some people, and it may not get a ton of views, and it may get some hate mail and everything else, and you know what, that's okay, that's fine. I can deal with that. I got thick skin. But what I want to talk about today is the idea of concealed carry while riding a motorcycle, and what my thoughts are around that, and just kind of how I do my life. We live in America. We have the right to make choices. We have the right to make decisions. And we have the right to exercise those rights. In some form or fashion, we all take advantage of that. So, let's roll the opening intro, and we'll be right back. And while we're rolling the opening intro, I'm going to stop and get some gas, because I only got 51 miles left on this tank, and I'll be out of gas by the time I get to work. So you watch the intro, I'll get some gas, and we'll be right back. Alright, we are all full and ready to roll. Concealed carry, North Carolina. I'm going to talk about North Carolina because that's where I live and that's what I know. I got my concealed carry permit, license, whatever you want to call it, probably about 13 years ago. At that time, in order to get your permit, you had to take a 8-hour class and then go to a shooting range, and I believe he had to fire 50 shots at 7 yards, which is only 21 feet, and incidentally, that's really not that hard. Really not a hard thing to do. And from that point forward, you are allowed to conceal carry. My job, my day job, my night job is Yogi Cycle Service. My day job, I work for a demolition company as an estimator. And in that line of business, we don't tear down like fancy, really nice places. Usually when you tear something down, it's not in too good a shape and maybe not in the best type of neighborhood. Now, the neighborhood may be fine. I don't want to be generalizing, saying the only stuff we tear down is in bad neighborhoods. That's not true. But pretty much most all buildings that I'm going to go look at to tear down, they're all vacant. So if they're vacant, sometimes you'll have squatters inside those buildings. That people maybe who are homeless or whatever the situation is, but they live in an abandoned building because it gives them shelter. So when I go and estimate these buildings, very often I'm by myself. Maybe the owner will meet me there and unlock the building, give me access so I can walk through it. Or maybe there's like one of those realtor boxes on the door and they'll give me the code so I can go in and walk the buildings. And it's not just people that you have to worry about inside those buildings, it's animals too. So I remember one time there was a 500,000 square foot former tobacco mill in Winston-Salem that I had to go walk by myself. And you want to talk about sketch and a little spooky? Try walking through a 500,000 square foot former mill that's been closed for 20 years. The roof is leaking. There are all kinds of pigeons and raccoons and possums and who knows what else inside. By yourself, it's dark, there's no light, you're walking through with a flashlight. So I'm walking through this building by myself, and it's scary, man. Put it that way. You know, you're on high alert at all times. and your flashlight in a little mag light flashlight in a 500,000 square foot former cigarette factory does not give you very much light. Not at all. But there are 3 incidents, and unfortunately that day nothing happened, but there are 3 incidents that are motorcycle related, and maybe I should back up for a moment. Because of my job, because of what I do, well, not just because of it, it's just one of the reasons, I do carry some form of firearm with me daily. And once I started doing demolition, I realized I was very glad I had my concealed carry permit, because I run into animals and people that I don't think are there on job sites all the time. Now, have I ever had to draw my gun for anything that's been work related? No. Thank the Lord I've never had to do that, but I have run into quite a few homeless people on job sites that have scared the ever-living tar out of me, because I was not expecting them to be there. So one time I went to a hotel. It was an old abandoned hotel, and there was like this hole in the window, and because the doors used to have the key cards to let you in. Well, when the key cards didn't work anymore, the homeless people came along and just punched a hole through the window so they could reach around, open up the doorknob, and get in. So every room in this hotel pretty much had a hole at the window, and the doors mostly were open by the time I got there. They weren't really shut anymore. Whole building full of trash, full of mattresses, full of crap. And I walk into this hotel room, and naturally I'm looking in front of me. I'm not looking down at the floor. Well, about 5 foot inside the door on the floor was a mattress, and I didn't really pay much attention to it. Well, apparently there was some dude sleeping under a blanket on the mattress. He pops up. I'm like, oh snap. I'm like, oh sorry bro, and I quick backed out of the room and walked away. And then he comes out, some crackhead who was asleep on the mattress. I think I scared him just as much as he scared me. So, but he came flying out the room. I was wearing a hard hat and a safety vest, so naturally I'm there for work, you know. I think I scared him as much as he scared me, and I was out the door in a heartbeat. And he came right out after me, and I thought, oh gosh, here we go. But he turned and walked the other way. That was probably the scariest of work-related incidents. But you know, I had my gun on me, but never at one point in time did I felt the need to do anything with it, so it stayed right where it was. I am not the type of guy that's a gun happy. I just use it for self-defense. I'm not going to pull it unless I feel like I need it, because that's just not how I roll. Anyways, there are 3 events that are motorcycle related. Event number 1. Buddy and I are rolling up to DC. This was years ago. This is probably about 2005, 2006. At that point in time, I was still learning a lot of the cool back roads going to DC, but at this point in time, we're rolling up on the highway. I think we had just gotten on the Beltway, or we're on 395, 495, I don't know, somewhere around there on the south side of DC. And we needed gas. So I signaled to my buddy that we're pulling off to go get gas, so we pull off to go get gas, and somehow I missed the turn for the gas station. So I decided to take the next road to make a U-turn. So I take the next road, and it's a dead-end road. And we go down to the end of it to turn around. We turn around, we start coming back. Well, as we were coming back, there was probably about 30 people suddenly that just appeared out of nowhere on this road. And they stepped in front of us to block our path. I was just like, oh, heck no. I hit that throttle. My buddy Steve with me, he hit that throttle. They finally jumped out of the way as we were coming in third gear, probably 45, 50 miles an hour towards them to get off this dead-end road to get back over to the gas station. But at that moment, I thought, oh my gosh, we're surrounded. So we just floored it, and we were ripping down that road. What's up, Broseph? And we got out of there, and it was fine, and there's no problems. But yeah, I was using my motorcycle as a weapon that day. Now, I did have a gun on me at that time, but I think we were still in the Virginia side, so I was still legal to carry with the reciprocation to North Carolina. But once you get up into Maryland, once you get into D.C., you know, they don't reciprocate with North Carolina. So you got to take it off, and you got to lock it up, and you got to lock it in the saddlebag with a gun lock on it. And that's, you know, whatever. Stupid states don't play fair, don't have fun. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. So, enter time number 2. And 2 and 3 are both very similar, so I'll save you the time. They both happen at gas stations. I don't know why it is, but gas stations seem to be a very high ground for becoming prey. They're very high ground for predators to take advantage of people at gas stations. I'm sure you probably all know that, but it's just like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a predatory ground or something like that. So I pull into this gas station, and I'm filling up my motorcycle. I had just finished filling up my motorcycle. I took the nozzle out of my gas tank and I hung it on the pump. And as I hung it on the pump, this young kid, well, young man, I guess you'd say, he's probably about 20, pops out from around the gas tank, and he's like right here in my face, right in my face. And he's like, and this was like New Year's Day. I was going for a New Year's Day ride. And this dude just pops out, and he's right there in my face. He's like, hey! I jump back. I'm like, my first thought was I'm just going to punch him right in the face because, dude, you don't do that. You don't pop around a gas station and scare the snot out of somebody. What the heck is wrong with you, boy? So he pops around the gas station and says, hey, I want to give you this. And he holds up a magazine, and it's the Watchtower Association. And as soon as I saw a watch on the front of the magazine, I knew exactly what it was, because my mom, when I was a kid, used to be a Jehovah's Witness. So, oh, this guy's a Jehovah's Witness. Dude, you almost just got punched in the face, and had I not punched you in the face, I would have capped you, because what you did was very threatening. Jumping in front of me, coming out from the middle of nowhere. Let's use a little common sense, son. Oh, it just ticked me off. So that was incident number 2. Granted, I wasn't really threatened. Like I said, I have never drawn my weapon in a defensive need, but there have been times where I have thought about it. And the third incident was at a gas station, very similar to the second incident, but it involved 2 guys, and one came around from the back of the pump, and the other one came around from the front of the pump. And were just asking me a bunch of really weird questions to try to distract me. And it went on for about 2 or 3 minutes, but once they saw that I wasn't backing down and I wasn't a pushover, they just kind of left and went along their merry way, luckily with no incident. But 2 fellas, one from the back, one was standing behind me, one was in front of me. It just was not really cool. And when I let them know that was not really cool, they realized that I was onto their scam, and then they turned around and left. So, do I support concealed carry on a motorcycle? Well, obviously yes I do, because my gun's on me everywhere I go every day, with the exception of places where it's not allowed. So government institutions, schools, all the time for work I have to walk schools for demolition purposes, or walk government institutions for demolition purposes, and I take it off and lock it up in my car. So I do the responsible thing, I do the right thing. But yeah, do I support the right to bear arms? I support the right to protect myself. And I'm not going to get into a discussion about high-powered rifles and all that other junk. I don't own any. I'm not a high-powered rifle type guy. I'm a pistol type guy. That's what I like, because I like self-defense. I like being able to protect myself. And they're really fun to shoot. You know, I really get a lot of enjoyment out of shooting a pistol. Now I haven't done it probably about a year. There's been too much other life going on, but man, it's fun. Fun going out to the target range and slinging some lead. So yeah, I support concealed carry while riding a motorcycle. I have found that on my motorcycle, people mess with you more when you're on a motorcycle than they do when I'm in like my work truck. Usually when I'm on my work truck, nobody pays any attention. Nobody really cares. But when I'm on especially when I'm on the Fat Boy, because it's a sweet bike. So when I'm on my Fat Boy, for some reason, everybody and their uncle wants to talk to you, and that's fine. Most of the time, it's harmless. But some of the times, it's not quite as harmless. And you always need to be on guard and always need to be on watch when you're on your motorcycle, especially at a gas station. Now, driving down the road like this, yes, this is University of North Carolina student housing. There's the campus over yonder. Brand new building they built. Lots of traffic. Gun-free zone over there. But allowed right here. So keep an eye out when you're out there, Yogi Clan, because you never know what kind of idiots out there. And they're in all different parts of the country. It doesn't have to be in a bad neighborhood. It can be in a good neighborhood too. But be careful when you're at gas stations, because you never know what you're going to run into. You never know what kind of idiot's going to try to take advantage of you or want something from you. You know, I've had quite a few friends can tell you stories about their incidents at gas stations. And for some reason, that just seems to be the spot of trouble. I don't know why. So, those are my thoughts on concealed carry. Just wanted to share that with you today. Day before Good Friday. I hope you all enjoy the weekend. Do me a favor, subscribe, hit the notifications, hit the like button. Give me some love. I hope you all have a blessed weekend. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. What's up, y'all? Oh, Sin City Disciples. Sweet. Y'all be safe. Take care. God bless. Peace.